Namaste and welcome back. I personally feel as though Shri Amma and Shri Bhagavan were holding our hands and leading us through the marketplace as though we were children, showing us the different sights, the exciting places, the exciting adventures. In fact, our journey through health is going to be an interesting little adventure. Whenever we receive blessings from our elders, from people who have been sourced in tradition, you often listen to them uttering a blessing in Sanskrit. And they tell you, Shatamanam bhavati, Shatayuh purusha shatendriya, Ayushya vendriye pratitishthati. Look at this blessing they give. It is full of a tremendous wish for a long life and also for a healthy life. A long life and a life that is lived healthy has been the aspiration of humanity over the ages, and it continues to be the same even today, because a healthy body is what affords a total experience of life as it is. Right now, this week, let us listen to what Sri Bhagavan has got to say on the physical dimension, on exercise and lifestyle.
Life today has become largely automated and hence sedentary. As a consequence, the body has strayed from its natural rhythms of movement. The body is naturally designed for movement. When movement is restricted, the delicate balance that maintains the complex systems is disrupted, resulting in toxicity and disorder ranging from unease to acute pain. The possibility of pressure on the spinal cord in the wrong angles is much more in a sedentary life than in a life oriented to movement. Wrong posture could result in serious health complications. Regular and moderate exercise would set this defect right. Exercise is also necessary to intensify metabolic activities. All the cells of the body move into a state of comparative inaction during sleep. This state of inaction would continue if the body maintains minimal movement through the day. That is why exercise in the morning hours helps kickstart metabolic activity in the mitochondria of the cells. Consequently, food consumed is effectively burnt as fuel. This prevents the accumulation of fat deposits in all the inconvenient places in the body. On the contrary, if this does not happen, your weight would increase very unnoticeably, perhaps a kilo over 4 months. But what would this mean in the long term? 3 kilos a year and 12 kilos in 4 years. Is not the prospect frightening? That is why exercise in the morning is certainly more beneficial than if done in the evening or any other time of the day. Go ahead and take action. We must learn that the elements of our body need to work in unison with the rhythms of nature, of which they are a part. When the body moves out of this rhythm, its biological clock is disturbed, and this further leads to disturbance in its sleeping and waking patterns. Indulging in an aberrant and irregular lifestyle dullens your senses. When you do not breathe in fresh air or rise and sleep in synchrony with the movements of the sun and the moon, vitality is on the decline. Given your physical limitations and constraints, take the maximum care possible. because life is but heaven when you experience it through a healthy body. Make health one of your primary priorities.
Thank you, Bhagavan. If you would remember, the first week that we began to pursue on the issue of health, we saw that larger and larger numbers of people were becoming more and more unhealthy. It is in the same context that Sri Bhagavan has given us his message today again. Sri Bhagavan says that life has increasingly become automated and hence sedentary. Why not? We see this everywhere. In ancient times, let us say even 25 years ago or 30 years ago, we had a lot more things to do with our hands, with our fingers, with our spinal cord, with our back, with our legs. But today we hardly have anything to do. There's a dishwasher, there's a grinder, there's a mixer, there's a washing machine. Anything and everything is automated. So you hardly use your body, you hardly use your fingers, you hardly use your elbows. And so what happens? Your life has become more and more sedentary. You have begun to sit and live your life. All the time it's either in front of the internet, in front of the computer, or in front of your table. So you are sitting. And what's the consequence of this kind of a sedentary life? The consequence is a lot of people suffering from pain in the spinal cord. Because when you begin to live more and more of a sedentary life, the impact of it is felt on the spinal cord, especially so because very naturally you tend to sit in the wrong angles. And then there is this gentle pressure that builds up on the spinal cord, which ultimately manifests as acute pain or as irritation. On the one hand, you could have pain in the spinal cord. On the other hand, lack of movement automatically causes a great deal of toxicity to build up in the body. So this inevitably leads to its own complications. Now, how do you get out of this? Sri Bhagavan says regular and moderate exercise should be the solution. You don't have to move to extremes. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes of exercise a day. That's what your body needs optimally. And if you need more, you do more. But then go for the optimal, go for the middle path, never to the extremes. However, Sri Bhagavan continues to tell us why exercise is significant, what else are the reasons. Every night when we sleep, the various systems of the body also move into comparative rest. Our cells also are sleeping. At least they're highly inactive. What does this mean? When we wake up in the morning and continue to drag our body in a very sluggish manner, what happens is the cells never wake up completely. The metabolic activity that is happening within the mitochondria of the cells is at a low level. Consequently, the cells continue to be asleep or at least partially inactive. And in this state of body, as you take in food, food reaches the cells and the cells don't burn the food that you have given. It doesn't get converted into fuel effectively. And the result, Sri Bhagavan says, is accumulation of fat deposits in uncomfortable places, like in the tummy, under the chin, or in the arms, in the elbows, anywhere. But fat goes on accumulating. And very humorously, Bhagavan said that this accumulation of fat happens in very unnoticeable manner. That is, you really don't get to see it because maybe over a period of 4 months, you accumulate 1 kilo. And what is this at the end of the year? 3 kilos. And what is this at the end of 4 years? 12 kilos. You're out of shape. That is what happens when you do not exercise in the morning. There are some people who do exercise, but in the evening. Sri Bhagavan said that exercise in the morning is much, much more beneficial than when it is done in the evening, because throughout the day, your metabolic activity is high. And so your cells are converting food into fuel and burning it very effectively. That is why morning exercise is always highly recommended. human will and divine grace come together, the result inevitably is a miracle. At the end of the Arogya Diksha or the Oneness Health course, I have often found people narrating experiences like this to me.
Hi, I'm Meera. I'm from Chennai. I would like to share my experiences after I attended the Oneness Health course. And also, I'm following this Oneness diet, which has been suggested by the university. I was suffering from migraine for the past few years. This Oneness Health course really helped me to get completely liberated from the migraine. Also, I realized that how psychological suffering affects the physical body, and this migraine, they had taught us that migraine comes when you judge yourself too much and when you're not able to accept yourself, and I was able to see that quality in me. Now also, whenever I go, sometimes situations arises where I'm not able to accept myself, and I'm able to bring that wisdom into that particular situation, and I see the pain just going away. And overall, I'm feeling very energetic and active by following the diet as well as the exercises which they taught us in the Oneness Health course. My one weakness was that I never used to get up early in the morning. That was like very difficult for me. Now, as I'm following the diet and the exercises that they taught us in the health course, I'm getting up at around 4:15, which I've never done in my life at any time. I really thank Amma and Bhagavan to have shown me this beautiful path and giving me health and wellness and making me into a happy human being. Thanks to Amma Bhagavan.
My name is Raghu. I am from Hyderabad. I've come to this Oneness Health course. Before coming to this process, I just came to know that all of us were adults participating in the same process. So after attending the course, now we understood that this health program is not specially for elders who are having already health problems, but it's also for the youth who are completely healthy, but they should know what health is like. Health is not only regarding the physical body, it's also regarding the spirit. It's a combination of physical health, psychology, as well as spirituality. It's a combination of all the three. Once all the three are set right and they're in equilibrium, you will be in complete health position. Complete health you'll have. This is possible only in this Oneness Health course. Tapping therapy is a process. It's a very simple process. There is no rules. There is no regulation. It's a gunshot 100% therapy, wherein any kind of stress, anytime, anywhere you can use this process. It's a very simple process. Once we use this process, you're completely relieved of all the stress. Your mind is blank, complete of peace. You're in complete peace. You really enjoy this. You're in complete joy and bliss. Second thing is laughing therapy. Before talking about laughing therapy, I should tell you one basic thing. From the last 2.5, 3 months, I was suffering from the shoulder joint pain. There's no reason for the pain. It just suddenly started one fine day. There's this pain type pain, which I don't understand, which I could not understand why it was. I've been to doctor. He has given some pain relief tablets also, but it was not curing completely. So I don't understand why it was. Just I was doing some exercises. I was taking some tablets, but nothing was better. Once I came here, I was participating in the laughing therapy. One of the processes, laughing therapy, as I told you. When I was participating in that, once I completed that, after that I suddenly lifted my hand completely. There was no strain, there was no pain also. I was feeling completely happy. There was no pain at all. Then I could understand the basic thing, or the basic concept of this health, which they were explaining. Emotions. The basic problem for illness of the body is not any external thing. It's basically the emotions. Emotions carry a major role in creating illness to the body. One other thing which I understood is that there is the problem is not with the disease, but the problem is with the relation you have with the disease. That's a very basic thing which I could not understand when they said initially, before starting this process, when they told this sentence. I don't understand what they meant by relation with the disease. I was just astonished, what do you mean by this? But when I gone through this process, that session is completed, I was really, it was an experience to me. After I came here, I've gone through the process, it's an experience. And one thing I just want to make it gunshot sure for all the youth. This process is not only for the elders, it is 100% required for all the youth. Each and every youth of the country should participate in this. because already elders have some problems, they don't know how to maintain their health. Now they're coming here and they're getting cured. Now I've come here, I've got to know what is the basic, there's some basic things which you have to know regarding my health. I've got to know that.
Sri Bhagavan went on to explaining to us about the significance of right lifestyle and the environment as such. If you looked at the human body is but part of the giant evolution that we call creation as we see it today. Whatever is in nature is also in the human body. And whenever the human body is moving out of sync with the rest of nature, there's bound to be trouble. Because the part cannot deviate from the will of the whole, from the movement and the journey and the rhythm of the whole. There is the movement of the sun and the moon, and your body is naturally attuned to it. If you alone decided to go against it, you will have trouble. Now look at yourself. There are people out there at midnight, 2:30, standing on the roads and hogging food. What happens to their stomach? What happens to their intestine? They're all ribbing and moaning inside, saying, give me a break. I need to go to sleep. Just as you sleep, I too need to sleep. But we don't care to listen to them. And we wake up sometime when the sun is fully up, and then we go to bed when the sun is about to rise. Instead, if we watch the rest of nature, if you only went into a garden, saw the way the trees, the flowers, and the leaves behave, when the sun goes down, there are so many leaves that are going back to sleep, sometime after sunset. And just before sunrise, these leaves wake up and are ready for the day. That's exactly how the body is supposed to be. And when we take it away from this natural rhythm, the consequence is disease. You are either not sleeping at all or sleeping too much. This kind of an aberrant lifestyle, Sri Bhagavan said just now, inevitably dullens the senses. You're seeing, but then the sight is not really sharp. You're listening, but the ears are not able to grasp the sounds that are happening at a great distance. Everything about you has become dull. And when the sense experience becomes dull, life itself becomes dull. So how do you get back to vigor? How do you get back to health and vitality? Sri Bhagavan says, it's very simple. No matter what your life circumstances are, how much ever restrained, how much ever little constraints you may have, maybe you live in a small house, or maybe you have no terrace to walk on, maybe you have no garden, but still there is the road. There's anything and everything. You have a will and you have a way. So do this, wake up early in the morning and take up a walk for at least 20 minutes of a day, at least. And if you're somebody who's going to tell me you have no time, please learn to sleep a little early, but then take the morning walk. Wake up early then. Finally, I would also like to tell you, share with you in fact, a recent research information. In one of the universities in the US, they had a research conducted, and the research was about why some people die of their first heart attack while some continue to live on. What is the reason why somebody dies of their first heart attack? And to their amazement, they discovered that the reason was not alcoholism, the reason was not addictions to tobacco, the reason was not cholesterol, but the reason was job dissatisfaction. Whenever people have been extremely dissatisfied and unhappy at their profession, that unhappiness has impacted the mind, and the mind in turn has impacted their body. Look at what a delicate system the body is. A return to health is inevitable, and it is a necessity. If not just for your sake, but for the sake of all those who love you, and for the sake of the world in which you live. Life, Sri Bhagavan says, would be heavenly if experienced through a healthy body. So let us move forward and grasp that heavenly experience. See you again next week. Namaste.